Guys, for 5 Reasons Sports, this is Kyle Van Noy. You can find me on Twitter at Samurai Radio. 2 eyes at the end of Samurai. Big news just coming out, and I have it here up on my phone. I'll try to show it to you from Cameron Wolfe. First tweet about an hour ago from recording says, Dolphins linebacker Kyle Van Noy is a potential cap casualty who could be released before the league year begins. Sources tell ESPN. Quote, talks are ongoing about releasing Van Noy in the coming days, a move that could save Miami $9.75 million in cap space. Andrew Van Ginkel would move into a larger role. Quote, Dolphins signed Van Noy to a 4-year, $51 million deal last offseason, but structured it well so they could get out after 1 year and $15 million. His play was up and down in 2020 and would be a $4.125 million dead cap hit with a release, but $12.5 in cash savings. Wolf goes on to say, Van Noy hasn't been released yet, I'm told, though his time in Miami does appear to be nearing an end. A trade or restructured deal is still on the table as a potential option. Now, Mike Garafolo of NFL Network went out and tweeted, and this is great reporting, by the way, from Cameron Wolfe. Mike Garafolo went on to say the Dolphins have informed Kyle Van Noy he will be released, sources say. Cameron Wolfe indicated this might be coming. It's confirmed. Then went on to tweet statement from Kyle Van Noy following his being released by the Dolphins. I am surprised. This is from Kyle Van Noy, according to Mike Garafolo of NFL Network. I am surprised and disappointed in their decision. As a captain, I gave my all to the team. I fought through a painful hip injury during the season, including spending a night in the hospital after a game. I was brought there to be a leader, and I know my teammates looked up to and respected me. I'm looking forward to making an impact on my next team on and off the field. It seems as if it is official. Kyle Van Noy will be released from the Miami Dolphins and is no longer a part of the team. This coming from Mike Garafolo. Original reporting by Cameron Wolfe, who says he has still not been told that Van Noy was released. But now a new tweet coming up saying, I'm told a pay cut was discussed with Kyle Van Noy, who is prepared to move on. Trade options still being explored, but releases coming if none found. His tenure in Miami was short-lived. So, although nothing is official yet, he has not officially been released. Apparently, Van Noy, according to Mike Garafolo, has already made a statement, and it looks like he will either be traded or he will be a cap casualty being cut. Regardless of what the situation is, Kyle Van Noy will no longer be a Miami Dolphin. This is something that's very interesting to me because while I was looking through a lot of cap casualties as I've been filling in for Ethan and doing my own show on Onside Radio, a lot of what I've been saying has been, well, there isn't much that you can really look at. You're probably going to go and cut a guy like a Bobby McCain. If that situation arises itself, maybe you restructure a guy like Jakeem Grant, also known to me as just 19, or you go out and you make another deal somewhere else and you try to find money somewhere else. Maybe you restructure a Byron Jones or something like that. Van Noy was one that wasn't really the guy that I was looking at to potentially get released, and honestly kind of a shock and kind of a surprise to me that he's the guy that is the one that's going to be moved on from. Now, $9.75 million in cap space is not that, small. It's great. You get out of the deal after 1 year, which is essentially something that's going to be good for them. You get out of a linebacker that's admittedly said that he has been slower this season, was on the Pat McAfee show just a few weeks ago, where he mentioned that everything in Miami is on the rise and they believe in Coach Flo and everything like that, but obviously disappointed that he's going to be gone from the team and kind of is shocked. It seems as a shock move as well for the Dolphins, and we'll talk about this on the Extra Yard tomorrow at 7:30. Of course, 3 yards per carry. We'll talk about it on their podcast. All Dolphins people will be talking about it. It'll be interesting. Do they go after a guy like Hassan Reddick? Do they go after a guy like Jadeveon Clowney, as CK Parrott, also known as Chris Kaufman, has been talking about on Twitter? What are some guys that they could potentially go after? Some guys that they could potentially target in order to make it be as if this loss isn't too much? And obviously now Andrew Van Ginkel, who came on very, very great throughout the rest of the season last season, and was really taking some of those roles away from Kyle Van Noy, who, yes, was having an up and down season, but was definitely a leader for the team, will now have a situation where he's going to be getting, an expanded role for sure. And then now what happens? Do you go after a guy like a Hassan Reddick? Do you go after a guy like Jadeveon Clowney? Who do you take to fill that hole? Do you go into the draft to find a guy to get that in that situation? Obviously, the Dolphins brass feels as if they're good enough without having a guy like Kyle Van Noy on the team, and they're fine with moving on from him. Therefore, it seems like really the team in general should be kind of in the know. It is a shock move for Brian Flores, but as multiple people have noted just on Twitter and in general without the Brian Flores tenure and the Chris Greer tenure, is that there's a couple things about the NFL, man. It's a business, and it doesn't matter who you are. Brian Flores will make a move if it means that he's going to make his team better. I do apologize if I'm looking through some things because I'm literally looking to try to find as much as I can to get, as much as I can while I'm recording the video. It's interesting that they are going out and, making that cut, but Van Noy didn't look outstanding. He wasn't the best in the world that the Dolphins are doing, but hey, here it is. He's going to get released. And again, it's something that, you just continue to see. It does not, Kyle Van Noy getting released shows it doesn't matter what happens. And again, I'm sorry because I'm looking through everything on threads and everything right now to try to get as much information as I can while recording. We're going to cut this off here shortly. It shows that it doesn't matter what happens in the NFL. It doesn't matter who you are. You can become a cap casualty. And although Kyle Van Noy did not look like that guy that could have been a cap casualty for the Miami Dolphins, just like that, in a snap of a finger, you go from being a captain, you go from being a guy who's looked on and relied on the defense to someone who is out looking for a job. And in a COVID-19 pandemic cap hit struck world, this is probably how this happens. Maybe it doesn't happen if the cap is known. They were talking about, and Ian Rappaport was on the Pat McAfee show talking about how teams were going to be reluctant to make moves up until maybe next Monday or Tuesday, depending on what they could do because of the cap. Now we know Kyle Van Noy will no longer be a Miami Dolphin, whether he is released, traded, or something else happens. It looks like his time in Miami is done, and he has already mentioned that himself. Again, original reporting from Cameron Wolfe and the follow-up reporting by Mike Garafolo of NFL Network. This has been Kai Chen Chisholm with, I was about to say with Samurai Radio. This has been Kai Chen Chisholm with the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at Samurai Radio, 2 Eyes in Samurai. We will catch you guys tomorrow night for the extra yard at 7:30, as well as some other stuff with 3 yards per carry and the rest of our Dolphins coverage as we get ready towards free agency and the draft.